Thank you, members. Thank you. I call the Premier.
The question, Mr. Speaker, and he must have missed the first half of Parliament such a date, Mr. Speaker, because what we have just found out today is that any measures we put in place, we're going it alone, Mr. Speaker. That's what the leader of your political party has said to the Queensland government. You go and do it all yourself, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is absolutely disgusting to think the Prime Minister of this nation will not help Queensland and Australia in its time of need. It is an absolute and utter disgrace, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, what we need clearly is everybody in this parliament, every single person in this parliament, to support our industry, Mr. Speaker, and to get behind the Queensland government to get cost-sharing with the federal government, Mr. Speaker. That's what we do in other natural disasters. That's what we've done through bushfires. That's what we've done through the northwest floods, Mr. Speaker, the cattle crisis. We all pitched in and worked together. But it is absolutely, I'm today in complete shock, absolute shock that the Prime Minister of our country, who's prepared to help the southern states, no, they're not in shock because maybe they don't care, Mr. Speaker, because the Queensland economy is very important, Mr. Speaker. Our #1 focus was on the containment of the virus. That was the key public health message, that this is what the Health Minister and the Chief Health Officer is fundamentally focused on, Mr. Speaker. And today, at the first opportunity, we are getting the stakeholders in to hear the impacts that they will see over the short term and the long term, Mr. Speaker. It's this government that is acting decisively, Mr. Speaker. And what we hear from the corridors of Canberra is stone-cold silence, Mr. Speaker. Stone-cold silence, Mr. Speaker. That's it. They've washed their hands of it. They don't care about Queensland, Mr. Speaker. Well, we're not going to leave the industries in the dark, Mr. Speaker. We're going to hear from them, their ideas, Mr. Speaker, and what we can do to assist them. We will not leave them on their own. And, Mr. Speaker, this is exactly what we have done in relation to the way we have dealt with other natural disasters in this state, where we have worked with industry and we have built back better than before more resilient, Mr. Speaker. This is having a huge impact on tourism, aquaculture, on agriculture, Mr. Speaker, international education, Mr. Speaker. This is having a big, big impact. And it is absolutely disgraceful that the federal government has written to us today to say thanks but no thanks. And, Mr. Speaker, the LNP
Premier's time has expired.
What's their view?